Dark Truth of a Bollywood Actress. Chapter 1. The Beginning. Rhea Kapoor was born in a small town in Madhya Pradesh. Her father was a school teacher and her mother a homemaker. She grew up in a modest house, but her dreams were always bigger than the walls that surrounded her. From a young age, she loved dancing in front of the mirror, imitating the actresses she saw on the screen. Her friends would clap when she mimicked Madhuri Dixit's smile or Kareena Kapoor's famous dance steps. Deep down, she always knew she wanted to become an actress. For her, Bollywood was not just an industry. It was heaven. But heaven always hides its shadows. When she turned 18, Rhea convinced her parents to let her go to Mumbai. Her father resisted, knowing the city could swallow innocence. But her mother, seeing her daughter's passion, convinced him. Let her try once. If not now, she will regret it forever. And so, with a suitcase, a few thousand rupees, and a heart full of dreams, Rhea stepped into the city of Mumbai. Chapter 2. The Struggle. Mumbai was not kind to newcomers. Rhea rented a tiny flat in Andheri with 3 other girls who also dreamed of making it big. They would run from one audition to another, standing in long queues, sometimes waiting for hours, only to be rejected in seconds. Casting directors would barely look at her. Too thin, too dusky, not photogenic enough. Some rejections she could take, but others came with darker offers. A man in his 40s once told her during an audition, "If you want this role, meet me tonight, alone." She froze. At first, she thought he was joking, but when he slid his hand across the table and whispered, "That's how things work here," her heart sank. She walked out, trembling. That night, she cried silently in her shared room, covering her mouth so her roommates wouldn't hear. She wondered if all her dreams were foolish. Chapter 3. The First Break. Months later, after countless auditions, Rhea finally got a small role in a television commercial. It wasn't much, just a background girl holding a product. But for her, it was hope. From there, she managed to get a supporting role in a low-budget film. She was thrilled, thinking it was the start of her career. But when the film released, it flopped badly. Nobody even noticed her. Still, she kept going. Slowly, she built connections, attended parties, and smiled at the right people. But every step forward came with invisible chains. At one party, a famous producer approached her. "You're beautiful," he said. "I can make you a star, but you have to trust me completely." She knew what he meant, and that night, alone in her room, she faced the hardest decision of her life. Chapter 4. The Compromise. The next morning, Rhea looked at herself in the mirror. Do I want to go back home as a failure? Or do I want to stay and fight? The city had already taught her one truth. Talent was not enough. Connections, power, and compromises shaped the stars people worshipped. And so, she agreed. That night, She entered the producer's five-star hotel room, her heart pounding. She told herself it was just one step, just one night. But it was not. It was the beginning of a chain that wrapped itself around her life. Soon, she started receiving offers. A role in a big-budget film, dance numbers, magazine shoots. The same casting directors who once rejected her now welcomed her. She was finally becoming famous. But with every photo shoot, every red carpet event, she felt emptier inside. Chapter 5. The Mask. On the outside, Rhea was a rising star. Her Instagram was filled with glamorous pictures. Fans adored her, and media called her the next big thing. But behind closed doors, she battled sleepless nights, loneliness, and a sense of being used. She wanted to tell the truth, scream at the world that fame came at a heavy price. But she couldn't, because the industry would destroy her if she spoke out. Her parents back home thought she was living a dream life. They watched her films proudly, showing neighbors their daughter on TV. Rhea smiled on the phone, pretending everything was fine. She couldn't tell them the truth, how their daughter's dream was built on silent sacrifices. Chapter 6. The Breaking Point. Years passed. Rhea had become a known actress, but the pressure never ended. Every director, every producer, every journalist expected her to maintain her image. Once, she rejected a powerful director's advances. The next day, news articles suddenly appeared about her being difficult to work with. Roles started slipping away. She realized how fragile her stardom was. One wrong move, and everything could be taken away. In her loneliness, she turned to alcohol. Sometimes she cried herself to sleep, whispering, "Was it worth it?" Chapter 7. The truth she carried. The world worshipped her, but no one knew the truth. The truth of how many girls like her entered Bollywood with dreams, but were crushed under its darkness. Some returned home in silence. Some broke. Some compromised like her. Rhea had achieved fame, money, and recognition, but deep inside, she longed for the innocence she had lost. Her story was not just hers. It was the untold story of many. The truth no one wanted to hear, hidden behind the shining lights of Bollywood. And every time she stepped on stage, smiling for cameras, she whispered to herself, "This is the price of my dream." Naina sat in her dimly lit apartment, her makeup still heavy on her face after the long night at an industry party. She had smiled, laughed, posed for the flashing cameras, and pretended to be the glamorous star everyone thought she was. But inside, she was broken. Her phone lay on the table, buzzing with messages from producers, directors, and so-called friends who only wanted to use her. Every day, she lived two lives, the one the world adored and the one she was forced to survive. Chapter 8. The Price of Fame. When Naina first came to Mumbai, she was full of dreams. She thought talent and hard work would open doors for her. But soon she realized that the glittering world of Bollywood was built on compromises, power, and exploitation. A powerful producer once told her bluntly, "If you want to be a star, you must obey. Otherwise, go back home." She cried that night, but her hunger to make it big made her stay. Her first break did not come from auditions or acting skill. It came from the sacrifices she had to make behind closed doors. That film made her famous, but it also stole her innocence forever. Chapter 9. The Mask She Wore. On screen, she was a diva, beautiful, confident, loved by millions. But off-screen, she was lonely. She had no true friends, no family close by. Everyone she met wanted something from her. Favors, money, connections. No one wanted her. She remembered once calling her mother after a long day, just to hear a voice that cared. Her mother said, "I'm proud of you, beta. You're shining like a star." Naina wanted to scream, to tell her mother that the price of that shine was too heavy. But she stayed silent because she didn't want to break her mother's heart. Chapter 10. Behind the Camera. Naina began to see the industry for what it truly was. Young girls arriving with dreams, only to be trapped in a cycle of exploitation. Big stars protecting their images while doing ugly things in private. Contracts signed under pressure. Parties where drugs, alcohol, and manipulation flowed freely. She saw actresses destroyed by depression, some turning to alcohol or drugs just to numb the pain. Some disappeared completely, forgotten by the same industry that once praised them. She promised herself she would not end up like them. Chapter 11. The Silent Struggle. One night, after yet another humiliating encounter with a director who threatened to replace her if she didn't cooperate, Naina sat in front of her mirror and asked herself, "Is this what I wanted?" She realized she was living a life controlled by others. Her choices, her body, even her identity were not hers anymore. She was scared, trapped in a golden cage. But she also knew she had a voice. And maybe, just maybe if she spoke out, she could change something. Chapter 12. Breaking the Silence. After months of inner struggle, Naina gave an interview to a journalist she trusted. For the first time, she spoke about the exploitation, the casting couch, the manipulation of young women in Bollywood. The article shook the industry. Some called her brave, others called her a liar. Powerful men tried to silence her. She received threats, offers of money to take her words back. But Naina stood firm. She said, "If I remain silent, more girls will suffer. I have already lost too much. I will not let others lose everything too." Her confession started conversations across the country. More actresses came forward, sharing their truths. Slowly, the dark side of Bollywood was being exposed. Chapter 13. The real strength. Naina's career slowed down after her revelations. Many big producers stopped offering her roles, but she did not give up. She started working on independent films, ones that told real stories, instead of selling illusions. She also opened a foundation to support struggling young actresses, guiding them, protecting them from the traps she once fell into. She was no longer the glittering star, adored for her beauty alone. She was something more, an inspiration, a fighter, a survivor. Conclusion: the world still saw Bollywood as a dreamland, but for Naina, it was a battlefield. She had fought her war in silence for too long. Now, she chose to fight with courage and truth. Her story showed the world that behind the makeup, lights, and fame, there is a darker reality. But it also showed that even in the darkest truth, there can be strength, resilience, and hope. Naina was no longer just a Bollywood actress. She was a woman who dared to show the truth.